Good morning, class. So this is another example of a component method problem. So I have here different vectors, okay, written in different notations that you may encounter as you solve different component method problems. So let's try to solve this. Okay. So ngayon, allow me to speak in Filipino as I go through the discussion. Okay? So, ngayon, unang gagawin, syempre, illustrate yung problem. Or yung mga vectors. Okay? Pero drawing muna tayo ng ating table. Okay? As you draw the table, okay lang naman na just write vectors. Okay? The vectors. And then we have here the x component. And your y component. Okay, so let's have the vector A. Okay, so for your vector A, we have here, we have here 13 degrees south of east. Okay, if you have here the south of east, then this will fall on the fourth quadrant. So probably if you have here your Cartesian plane, this is your, or steeper, this is your south of east. Okay, so drawing na rin natin yung components niya. So with that, you can draw your components here. Ayan. And this is your angle theta. Okay, so that's a south of east attached to the east. So we'll have here your A sub x, and then your A sub y. Okay, so solve natin. Ganun pa rin kung paano isolve si. Dito naman kung titingnan nyo, naka-adjacent naman si A sub x. So no need to use the complementary angle. Just simply A sub x is equal to A cosine of theta. Okay, substitute the value. We have here 12 meter per second. Okay, multiply by your cosine 13 degrees. Okay, and this will give us, okay, compute natin sa calculator, 12 cosine of 13. That is 11.69 meter per second. 11.69. Okay, that's a 0.69 meter per second. And direction is going east. Okay, dapat ilalagay yung direction kasi later on, meron siyang significance, diba? Pag magsosolve na tayo ng r sub x and r sub y. So, let's have the y component. So, for the y component, we'll have here your a sub y. Okay. So, let's have your a sub y is equal to your a sine of theta. Okay. So, we'll have here your 12 meter per second multiply by sine 13 degrees. Okay? And so, this will give us, type in natin sa calculator, we have here 12 sine of 13. And that is 2.70. Okay? 2.70 meter per second going, okay, that's a meter per second going south. Okay? So, here, class, kung ano yung direction niya, yun na rin yung components. Okay? So, let's underline this one so that later on, hindi tayo malilito. You can also have your table. Okay? Yung table na ginagamit natin nung naharaan. Okay, next, let's have vector B. Okay, for vector B, we have here 10 meter per second northeast. So, for letter B, that's 10 meter per second northeast. Class, kapag merong northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, angle is exactly 45 degrees. Okay? So, yun na yung exact na vector that will lie on, you know, the half of the quadrant, yung 45 degrees. So, that northeast can be found on the first quadrant. Okay, that's exactly 45 degrees. So, you can, any of that naman, I mean, kahit ano sa dalawa, pwede naman nandun yung angle. Pero pipiliin natin yung nasa baba kasi adjacent yung angle dito. Okay? So, here are your components. Okay? So, you'll have here your B. This is your B sub X. And then your B sub Y. Okay? And this is your theta. Okay, and so we can solve now for your B. Okay, so we have here your B sub X is equal to B cosine of theta, wherein your B is 10 meter per second multiply by cosine 45. Again, 45 kasi exact po kapag ka northeast. Kapag northeast, northwest, like that, okay? So, solve natin sa calculator. That's 10 cosine 45. Okay, that's 7 point, that's your B sub X, 7.07. Okay, meter per second. Direction is east. Okay, and then for our B sub X, or B sub Y rather, so we'll have here your B sub Y. Your B sub Y equal to B sine of theta. Okay, so that's B. B is 10 meter per second. Okay, multiplied by your cosine, sine. By your sine 45 degrees. Okay, and this will give you B sub Y. Type in sa calculator. Parehas lang yung lalabas, class. Kasi remember, kapag kayong triangle, 45, yung angles niya will be 45, 45, and 90. Same size lang, or same lang yung legs nun. Okay, so that's meter per second. But then, yung direction niya magiging north because it's on the y-axis. So, we have here your B sub X. Oops. That is your B sub X. And our B sub Y. Okay. Let's have the third vector. Baba natin to. Tandaan lang natin. That's 9 meter per second north. Okay. Let's have the third one. For letter C, we have here C is 9 meter north. So, this is your origin. This is your north. Okay. So, as you can see, class, that 9 meter north, which is vector C, wala na siyang x component. Okay. You can just simply write C sub X is equal to 0 because we don't have any x component. And so, your C sub Y is equal to 9 meter per second going north. Isa lang yung component niya. Okay? That's it. But then if you want to check, okay, let's underline it. Okay, and this one. Underline natin siya. Okay. Ayun. Ayun. So, if you want to check, class, here on our given, obviously, it's north. So, you can have your angle that is 90 degrees. And if we will try to solve that, if we will have this as 90 degrees, so we will have our, let's have our C sub X. Okay, check lang natin for checking. C sub X is equal to C cosine of theta. And then we have here your C sub Y equal to the C sine of theta. Okay, we'll have here your 9 meter per second, multiply by your cosine 90. Okay, and if you have your cosine 90, class, that's equal to 0. So, 0 times 9 is equal to 0 pa rin. Okay, and so wala na siyang direction. And here, if we will have 9 meter per second, multiply by your sine theta, which is 90 degrees. Okay, sine 90 is 1. Okay, so if we have sine 90 multiplied by 9 meter per second, so that is 9, or 1 times 9 9 meter per second. That's still 9 meter per second. Now the direction is north. Okay? That's why we have those value. Okay? Or just simply write a 0 for your x. Okay? So, lipat natin to dito. Okay? Kaya tayo nagkaroon yan. And we have this one here. Okay? Nakuha naman kung bakit siya naging ganun. And then, let's move this one also. Okay, so meron na tayong tatlo. Let's go back to the other example. We have, for letter D, the other given, we have 9.5 meter per second, 282 degrees. Okay, so that's 282 degrees. So let's draw our vector for letter D. Okay, so we have here our Cartesian plane, and yung 282 na yon, so dito yon maglalay. 282 here. Okay, so this is your 282 mula kay positive x-axis. Okay, we have here your positive x-axis up to the vector. Okay, yun siya. And so if we will get the components of this class, we can describe this using this vector. Okay, pwede yun nandito na vector. Extend natin yung Cartesian plane natin. Okay, so, diba pwede natin siyang i-describe using this one, yun nandito, and then yun nandito. But then, pipiliin natin yung side kung saan adjacent na yung magiging theta natin. So, we can use this side. Okay, this south of east theta. So, we will draw here our components. Okay, so, dapat sakto lang doon. Okay, so, something like this. Ayan. Okay, yan yung components natin. So, this will be your vector D. So, we have here your vector D. We have here your D sub Y on the y-axis, and then your D sub X. Question, what will be the value of our theta? If you have here 200, diba, that's 282 degrees. Class, subtract mo lang siya sa 360 kasi yun yung buong measure ng Cartesian plane natin. This will give you how much? Type in natin sa calculator. That's 360 minus 282. This gives us 78 degrees. Okay, that's 78 degrees. So, meaning the value of this theta will be 78. So, we can now compute for our components. So, yung components natin magiging D sub X is equal to your D cosine theta. That is the value of our D. Balikan natin yung given. 9.5 meter per second. Okay, so we have here 9.5 meter per second multiply by cosine 78. Oops. That's 78 degrees. Okay, so type in sa calculator. We will have here 9.5 cosine of 9.5 cosine of 78. So that is 1.98. Okay, so that's a 1.98 meter per second going east. Okay, so that's going east. That's our D sub X. Let's have our D sub Y. For our D sub Y, we have here your D sub Y is equal to D sine of theta. And our D is 9.5 meter per second multiplied by your sine 78 degrees. Again this is how we get the 78 degrees. Okay, so type in natin sa calculator. Our D sub Y is 9.5 sine of 78. So that is 9.29 9.29 meter per second D. Okay, look at this. That is, oops, that should be south. Okay, that's going south. Okay, tingnan natin. So, we have here this one. This makes sense kasi class, makikita nyo, mahaba naman talaga yung D sub Y. Okay, kapag 78 degrees yan. Okay, underline natin. So, we have here, because we have 4 vectors, therefore, we'll also have 4 X components and 4 Y components. So, ayan yun. Kunin natin yung, it should be this one. Let's make it the red one. Okay, so overlap na lang natin. Okay, so ayan, meron na tayo ng A sub X, B sub X, C sub X, and then D sub X. So it's now time for us to solve our R. Okay, for our R, let's have our R sub X. Okay, so here R sub X is equal to, let's use this, we have here your A sub X plus B sub X plus C sub X plus D sub X. Okay, let's get the value from above. So we have here 11.69 meter per second, and that's east, so therefore that's positive. Okay, 11.69. 11.69. Okay, later na natin ilagay yung units. Okay, and then for our letter B sub X, we have 7.07 meter per second. East pa din siya, so positive. 7.07. So we have here 7.07. Okay, still positive. For our C, we have 0. So, kahit hindi na natin ilagay, or ilagay natin para di kayo malito. C. And then, for our letter D, we have here, still positive, 1.98 meter per. Oh, let's just be consistent na walang yun. Okay, then, i-add to, makukuha natin si R sub X. For our R sub Y, okay, so we have here R sub Y equal to, of course, your vectors. So we have here your your A sub Y plus B sub Y plus C sub Y plus D sub Y. Okay, plus D sub Y. Okay, let's get the values, but remember to consider yung direction. For A sub Y, we have here 2.70 meter per second going south. So, dahil south siya, negative. So, 2.70. So, we have here negative 2.70 plus, the other one is going north. For our B sub Y, we have 7.07 going north. So, that's a positive. 7.07. Okay. 7.07. For our letter C, C sub Y, we have here 9 meter per second. Still north. So, positive pa din siya. 9 meter per second north. So, 9. For our letter D, we have here going south. So, that is negative. So, still addition, pero ilalagay natin negative. Plus, a negative 9.29. Okay? Solve natin sa calculator. This will give you your R sub Y. Okay, unahin muna natin si R sub X. Type in natin sa calculator. We have 11.69 plus 7.07 plus 0 plus 1.98. So, this is 20.74. Okay, class. Dito, kapag positive yung lumabas, that's going east. Kasi x naman ito. I mean, x component is either east or west. So, lagay natin with the direction, kasi positive yan. So, that's 20.74, and the unit is meter per second, going east, dahil positive. Okay, let's have your r sub y. We have here negative 2.70 plus 7.07 plus 9 plus a negative 9.29. So this gives us 4.08. Okay, 4.08. So this is a positive. So therefore, kapag r sub y naman, pag positive, that's a north, and then kapag negative, that's a south. So this is 4.08 meter per second going north. Okay? Bakit pa tayo lumaktaw? Para makita nyo na pag positive yan, it's a north. Okay? So, here you can box your answers. Okay? Box natin yung answer. Oops, that should be here. Ayan. So, we have here your r and the r sub x and then your r sub y. So, from there, dito na natin magagamit yung idea that this angle will form a right triangle. So, let's illustrate the problem, the vectors again. Our r sub x. Let's start with the r sub x. So, we have here 20.74 meter per second east. And the other one is going north. So, here we start here. This one. Okay. So, let's have a thicker one. Let's use color blue. Okay. So, this is your r sub x. Okay. So, if that's 20 meter going east, so, lagyan natin siya ng arrowhead. Oops. Here. Ayan. Okay, this is your origin. If that's 20 meters, so ito is like 1/5 of that. So, let's have a green one. That's north. So, from there, you draw this one. Okay, let's draw one going up. Okay, so maliit lang kasi 1/5. Okay, so para medyo realistic siya. And from there, let's draw an arrowhead. Okay, so with that, we can draw our resultant vector mula dun sa origin. Okay, mula sa origin hanggang dun sa head, arrowhead, nung pangalawang vector. And this is your resultant vector. This one. Ayan. Let's label this. Okay, so this will be our... let's use black. Okay, this is our r. This is your r sub x. And this is your r sub y. Okay, class, yung vector ulit ay yung theta will be drawn from attached to your r sub x and to the resultant vector. So, this is our theta. And the next thing to do is to find the value of r. From that illustration, remember how you get your r. So, r is equal to the square root of your r sub x squared plus your r sub y squared. Okay, so we will have here the square root of our, let's have the 20.74 squared plus 4.08 squared. Okay, you can also have your units sa solution paper. Okay, dito wala mo ng unit para mas maayos siya masulat natin. Okay, let's have the 20.70, the square root of 20.74 squared plus 4.08 squared. That's a 21.14. Okay, that's 21.14 meter per second Okay, that is now the magnitude. For you to find the value of your theta and the direction, we'll have theta is equal to the tangent inverse of the opposite side over the adjacent side, which is the tangent inverse of your r sub y, opposite, over your r sub x, adjacent. Okay, so that's theta is equal to the tangent inverse of r sub y natin is 4.08 meter per second, and then we have 20.74 meter per second. This will give us type in natin sa calculator. We have tangent inverse of 4.08 over 20.74. This gives us 11.13 degrees. So that's theta equal to 11.13 degrees. Okay, sabi natin, gamitin natin yung whole number. So that's 11 degrees. Bigyan natin ng direction. Okay, so copy natin yung ating okay, copy natin dito si vector. And this is now, the direction will be from north attached to east. So that's the north of, that's a north of east. Okay, box natin yung answers. You can also write your answers. Let's use a thinner one. Okay, that is our answer. And then we have here our answers, which will be, okay, that one. Okay, so that's the final answer. If you want to write your resultant vector, you can have it written as a whole. Okay, your r, now your r with an arrow on top, that's a vector, is 21 point, okay, that's a 21.14 meter per second, 11 degrees north of east. Okay, that is our final answer. Okay.